Good afternoon. Welcome to Conversation with Rickford Burke. This is Rickford here in New York. Share the link, everybody. Wow, shot right up to 300 right away. Share the link, everybody. I hope you're having a good time. This is a big weekend here in New York. It's the 4th of July period. Most of you probably took tomorrow off, so you have a long holiday. I hope you're enjoying yourself and you're having a good time. Text me, let me know where you're watching from, everybody. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Keep sharing the link, everybody. Share the link. If you're watching me from here in New York City, welcome. Watching me from here in New York State, welcome. Watching me from here on the East Coast of the United States, welcome. I already see people from California watching, welcome. It's afternoon in California, evening here in New York. It's still bright as ever. Keep sharing the link, everybody. Those of you watching from Guyana, good evening, good night. It's dark. Good night, everybody. Text me, let me know where you're watching from, everyone. Keep sharing the link. Keep sharing the link. Those of you watching from London and the rest of Europe, good morning. Africa, good morning. Asia, good morning. Wherever you're watching from, I hope you're having a good time, a good day, a good evening, or a restful night. Share the link, everybody. Share the link. Big topic tonight. Big topic tonight. We're going to reveal the rape allegation. We're going to reveal the rape allegation. After tonight, I want to implore Guyanese women all across the world to make representations to international organizations, your local government, your federal government, your national government, wherever you are, make representations for this young lady. We cannot have a minister of government of a nation allegedly rape a school child, sodomize a school child, obstruct justice, obstruct investigation, tamper with witness, and get away with it. It cannot happen. So we here in New York, we're doing what we can. I'm going to tell you about a group of elected officials, federal officials, members of Congress, who are going to Trinidad and Tobago for the CARICOM Summit and to celebrate CARICOM's 50th anniversary. And we have already briefed them, including the chairman of the Congressional Black Caucus. So share the link, everybody. Share the link, and we will be back in 60 seconds. Share the link. All right. Keep sharing the link, everyone. Share this link. Get into all of your Guyanese groups and share this link. And while you're at it, press like or follow me on both of my pages. Wherever on Facebook you're seeing this show right now, like and follow it, the page. And on YouTube, subscribe. Go right now before I continue the show. and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Keep sharing the link, everybody. This is important. Let everyone know. If you haven't seen it before, you'll see verbatim, with some redactions, the rape allegation and the concomitant obstruction of this investigation, obstruction of justice. We know the people who participated in it. We know who said what, who did what. You'll get the facts on this show tonight. Everybody, keep sharing the link. Everyone right now, everyone, 6,000 of you, share this link to at least 20 other persons. We know that you would not get this information from the media in Guyana. You would not get this information from the media in Guyana. The PPP controls the media. And the media in Guyana, the formal media, traditional media, excuse me, has whitewashed this whole thing. And most of them have participated in the cover-up. This is a massive, massive indictment of the rule of law in Guyana, of the persons who are responsible for administering justice in Guyana, indictment on the people who are supposed to protect the rights of children, indictment on the people who are supposed to stop trafficking. This young lady was trafficked from her home. She had to travel to the alleged rapist, who obviously had the intent to procure her for alleged sexual exploitation. That's trafficking. And for us to have a complete breakdown of our society, or the systems that the state enacted to make sure children are protected from predators and pedophiles, to make sure that there's justice whenever people are violated, particularly children, to ensure that the rule of law is upheld, to ensure that there's justice when people are sexually assaulted and raped, to ensure that there's a prosecution system that works fairly for everybody, to make sure that the Child Protection Agency does its job, to make sure that the Guyana police force fully, thoroughly, impartially investigates these types of alleged crimes. The entire system broke down. Why? Because the People's Progressive Party placed people in every single office in Guyana so that they could get away with these types of crimes, alleged crimes. The police commission is there to protect the PPP. The crime chief is there to protect the PPP. And everything that passed, everything that is supposed to follow from that, the PPP has people in those offices, in those areas. Keep sharing the link, everybody, to protect their people. The female ministers in this government, in the Guyana government, they have gone silent. Everybody's gone run for the hills. Not one of them have the courage to condemn what has happened. The most kind of robust statement came from Vidya Prasad. Priya Manichan, who's the Minister of Education, disgraceful. She's talking about, I want to meet the child. You want to meet the child? You're the Child Protection Agency, you're the police. What do you want to meet the child for? Onish Wardran, silent. Onish Wardran, silent. Priya Manichan, silent. Pauline Sukai, Minister of Amerindian Affairs, silent. She's the first one. Pauline Sukai is supposed to be a an advocate. As Minister of Amerindian Affairs, this young lady is an Amerindian. She's an indigenous. She's from the indigenous people population of Guyana. There's supposed to be a minister, a ministry to protect these people and to advocate for them. Pauline Sakai is that minister. She's silent. Her colleague allegedly brutally, violently raped this young lady. Keep sharing the link, everybody. And Pauline Sakai is under her bed hiding. Hiding like a coward. Can't protect this 16-year-old girl. Mind you, Dharamlall allegedly, based on her comments, started grooming her for this alleged rape from the time she was 15. 15. Sonia Parag, the Minister of Public Service, she's silent. Susan Rodriguez, silent. PPP, female members of parliament, silent. Have you ever seen anything like this? A child, a school child, is allegedly brutally raped by a powerful man, odious and nasty though he be, a minister of the government, a cabinet minister, a man who controls a ministry with a budget of hundreds of billions of dollars, over probably $500 billion. Allegedly lured a schoolgirl underage from her home and allegedly, viciously, brutally raped and sodomized her. Not one female minister of the government or member of the PPP can speak out against that. No woman in Guyana should vote for that party again. No young person, no male, no anybody should vote for that party again. And as for the Amerindian community, if you guys don't pick up your children and run like it's Armageddon, when you see somebody from the PPP, especially a man, I don't know what else to say. Every child in the PPP, in the Amerindian community should run when they see PPP. Men in their community, run, hide, put bars on your house, lock it up. They want to rape your children. That's what they have done. That's what they have done. These lights are hot. You make me sweat, sorry. I have a ton of lights here. Keep sharing the link, everybody. Please share the link. I want to see, and by the way, I'll come back to the Dharamlall allegation. Don't worry, we have time. We'll get into it. You'll see it right here live. Share the link. Let them know that Rickford Burke is about to disclose the rape complaint. But first of all, I want to deal with the government and government officials, and then I deal with the police. And then I'll come back to the rape allegation. I saw Barry Jarb there, this monster, evil monster, who sits atop this government like he's the modern day Hitler. A man whose government was involved in the murder, extrajudicial killing of over 1,400 young black men with impunity. Saying, oh, the system worked. Some cock and bull nonsense that they call a system, where they send Dharamlall, after they planned it, they sent Dharamlall to Brigdan police station. Within 10 minutes, he walks out back, claiming to have been placed on $1 million bail, station bail. Mind you guys, he was not really on bail. This is not bail given by, instituted or imposed by a magistrate or judge. This is going to the police station. The police here, you got left a bail here of $1 million before we let you go. They told him what it was before. He went there, but it gave them and walked out back. If it was a black person, they would have stayed in there for 72 hours. And probably more. And their attorneys would have had to go apply to the court, file a habeas corpus writ for the police to produce them, for them to loose him for such a brutal sodomy and rape alleged of a child. And everyone would recall when the DPP went to the Caribbean Court of Justice in the appeal of somebody who was allegedly charged, who was accused of rape and charged. And she's like, this child was brutally raped. And one of the defendants, she had no evidence against. She was even chastised by the court. As a minister of justice for misleading the court, the DPP. She is the chief prosecutor of the country. She said the police file doesn't have enough information. She sent it back to the police. This was all planned to give the appearance that at least Dharamlall faced some aspect of the justice system. A farce, a sham. In the meantime, they're hammering, pressuring, coercing, driving this little 16-year-old girl crazy, pressuring her to drop the complaint. Everybody keep sharing this link. Pressuring the young girl. A 16-year-old, a normal adult, cannot withstand or usually don't want to go through this level of scrutiny, pressure, embarrassment, badgering, they kidnapped this young girl. The government of Guyana kidnapped this girl. Took away her phone. Took away her access to anybody. This is a scandal of international proportions, and it must reach the international community. Now, I dealt with Barjack. I believe him. He's in infinitesimal. He wants to be a Hitler. And he's going to get the Hitler treatment. But the president of Guyana, who claimed that he did not see the complaint, having heard of this kind of alleged assault, rape, still hasn't fired Dharamlall. He's condoning an alleged child rapist, someone who allegedly trafficking children. The PPP government and the president of Guyana condoning it. Have not fired this man. And we have the Secretary of State of the United States going to Guyana next week to stand next to the president of a government that refuses to fire an alleged child rapist. Tony Blinken is actually going to Guyana in the midst of a child raping scandal. The United States Secretary of State is traveling to a country where a minister of the cabinet allegedly raped a schoolgirl and against whom there are dozens of other such claims and complaints and allegations, where the president has refused to fire him. That's who the Secretary of State is going to go stand next to in Guyana. We issued a statement condemning it. We issued a statement condemning the U.S. embassy in Guyana for allowing the Secretary of State to be drawn into this morass of child rape and trafficking and brutal, violent, raping a little girl, a 49-year-old man, where the government and the police force attempted to cover up everything, pressure this child, allegedly bribe the family, threaten the family allegedly. A police officer, senior police officer, a commander of a region, that's like a state. It's like the chief of police of a state in the United States, participated in obstruction of justice. And he is not being fired. He's not being disciplined. Well, there's no police service commission to discipline him, but he hasn't been transferred. He hasn't nothing. That is full consent of the hierarchy of the police force and the government. He's not even being reprimanded. Participated in the perversion, subverted justice. Nothing has happened to this man. This man was the first contact this child had with the Guyana police force. And that act, he got this child to write, and I'm talking about Superintendent Kemraj. I'll get his name just now. The commander for Region 2, Shiv Baran. Superintendent Kemraj Shiv Baran. He got the child to falsely claim that the statements about her alleged rape on social media are false. And he signed the name to that. And nothing has happened to him. Keep sharing the link, everybody. I see Facebook is telling me that they're getting complaints that this program, this video is violating their policies. Get out of here with your nonsense. Hitler and his followers again. They think that they could shut people down in America. They got oil money, so they could, do whatever. Well, let them shut down the show. And we'll find another way to get to the people. I'm just as ruthless and determined as they think they are to make sure justice is served in this case. And then the police. Let me get to that police statement. Please hold a second. We have to examine this statement that the police issued. Keep sharing the link, everybody. The Guyana Police Force had the temerity to issue a statement on Friday condemning people for criticizing them. Condemning people for criticizing them. I'm trying to find that statement. I had it, I just removed it by mistake, sorry. But we'll get to it because I want to go through that statement. The statement is a big joke. Here we go. This statement is a big joke. All right, so here we go. Let me see if I can share. You know, I love to share my screen. Keep sharing the link, everybody. Keep sharing this link. Share my screen. All right, here we go. Guyana Police Force statement. They said that they had nothing to do with pressuring the young lady. They categorically stated at all times the highest level of professionalism was adopted during the investigation into the alleged rape made against Minister Nigel Dharamlall. Let's pause right there. The Guyana Police Force wishes to categorically state that at all times, the highest level of professionalism was adopted during the investigation into an alleged rape made against Minister Nigel Dharamlall. Excuse me? First of all, Superintendent Shibaran inserted himself into this case to help Dharamlall get the family to lie. That's the first thing. That's obstruction of justice. That's perversion of the course of justice. What is professional about a senior police officer man who is the first point of contact in the Guyana Police Force for this alleged rape victim, taking a statement in the presence of Nigel Dharamlall, the alleged rapist, and coercing that family to lie, commit perjury, that this did not happen. And in addition to that, another crime. They were paid by Nigel Dharamlall. This girl said her family was $10 million. $5 million on one day, and the following day, another $5 million. Witness tampering, obstruction, bribery. I mean, the police doesn't need the victim, in this case, the alleged rape victim, to charge Dharamlall and Superintendent Shibaran with accessory to the alleged rape after the fact. That has already been established. You don't need that. Why Dharamlall has not been charged with witness tampering, inducing the witness, bribing the witness, obstruction of justice? Why? Let's say the girl withdraw the charges. Sorry, not charges. No, she didn't even withdraw the complaint. The complaint can't be withdrawn. That complaint is there. Her allegation is there. It cannot be withdrawn. She's made the allegation. I guess she doesn't want to go forward with criminal charges. And we're going to hear exactly what happened. Why hasn't Dharamlall been charged with obstruction of justice or perversion of the course of justice? That's the first thing. But outside of that, I want to share, everybody put a marker, but before I switch, let me go over to something else they said. They make all sorts of denials and say people are peddling rumors that they forced the girl or whatever it is. Nobody believes any nonsense the Guyana Police Force. But I want to go to the last paragraph, the penultimate paragraph here in the statement. Guyana Police Force also wishes to express its concern over the fact that confidential information surrounding the interviews conducted by and at a particular non-governmental organization was unauthorisedly. Unauthorisedly. Okay. The Guyana Police Force is claiming that this, however the statement got out or whatever complaint got out, was unauthorized. Unauthorized. Suppose the family released it. Suppose the victim released it. We don't know. Unauthorized. Who the hell is the guy in the police force to claim that something was unauthorized? That's the first thing that jumped at me. Well, let's go on. Disclosed to several persons who published details of same on social media. This is a serious development that can undermine criminal investigations, resulting in serious miscarriage of justice. Let me put this up big and bold right here. This is what the Guyana Police Force says. My Guyanese people and Caribbean people and American friends. The Guyana Police Force also wishes to express its concern over the fact that confidential information surrounding the interviews conducted by and at a particular non-governmental organization was unauthorisedly disclosed to several persons who published details of same on social media. This is a serious development which can undermine criminal investigations, resulting in serious miscarriage of justice. My friends, it was the Guyana Police Force who leaked a video statement of the suspect in the Sir Mars murder after his family claimed that the man was framed. The Guyana Police Force did not wait for this information to be submitted to the court and it for it to be played in court when it becomes private. The Guyana Police Force leaked this information. So who the hell is the Guyana Police Force now to come to tell Guyanese that leaking information in criminal cases undermine criminal investigations and causes miscarriage of justice? These same crooks from the Guyana Police Force, I keep saying these guys have no credibility. The only thing the Guyana Police Force is good at, following instructions from Barry Jagdeo and others in the PB government to frame people. That's the only time the Guyana Police Force is efficient. They're efficient in corruption, efficient in taking bribes, efficient in corrupting files and pulling out statements from files and filing false charges against people to set them up for their political enemies, political masters. But let us come back to this statement. In the first paragraph, the Guyana Police Force wishes to categorically state that at all times, the highest level of professionalism was adopted during the investigation into the alleged rape made against Minister Nigel Dharamlall. Okay. First of all, Dharamlall was supposed to be held as per what they have established as the standard of operation procedure until this investigation gathers evidence. And the reason is so that he doesn't obstruct the investigation. Now, let me show you what the victim in this case said. Let me go back to sharing my screen. Everybody keep sharing this link. Keep sharing this link, share this link. We can go into the details today, share the link. Let us test this Guyana Police Force assertion that everything was done with utmost professionalism. Let's test it. All right, so let me right now share the screen. I have what I want here. Share the screen. Good. All right. So this is the complaint, or sorry, the allegation. We have a redacted version of it here. I want to go to part of her statement. Let me highlight it. Let me highlight it here in blue so that you guys can see it. From here. All right, let's read what the victim said. I visited the scene today, the 20th of June, 2023, around 12 o'clock. The police officers were present, also childcare worker and my mom. They told me where they were taking me. So when we were waiting outside for the police to say go ahead, I remember seeing two people standing up outside, a woman and a man, and they were all dressed in black. So I'm assuming they were Nigel Dharamlall's lawyers. I saw the lawyer came and spoke with the police officers, and the police came and said it was clear to go. When I went there were people standing outside, and they opened the door, and Nigel Dharamlall was sitting inside. He was sitting there with another female, and there were two other females inside, right by the door at the back. I saw him, and he saw me too. And I turned around and asked them, didn't you guys say that he wasn't going to be here? The childcare worker asked me to step out back, and go back to the vehicle until the lawyers came out and said he was actually going to leave. Let's pause there. Let's pause there, please. This is the Guyana Police Force who just said in a statement they acted with the utmost professionalism, and they took the rape victim, the alleged rape victim, through the house after they let Dharamlall go. Remember, based on police procedure, they're supposed to hold him while the investigation is gathering evidence. Expressly because you don't want him to intimidate the victim, you don't want him to tamper with evidence, and you want to do a search with the element of surprise so they don't get to disturb the crime scene, obstruct justice, obstruct the investigation. But the Guyana Police Force facilitated all of what I just said. They particularly arranged for him to go in and come back with $1 million station bail. He gone back to the house that they're supposedly going to search. But the worst, most disgraceful, despicable, reprehensible act was that the Guyana Police Force deliberately took this child back to the place where she was allegedly raped, with the rapist right there watching her to intimidate her. Where is the outrage from the Guyanese community, Guyanese society, civil society, women's organization? Where is the outrage? If it was a black person, they would have been in jail till now. But Dharamlall is a PPP East Indian. So he is supreme, above the law. It is disgraceful that not only the police allowed this to happen, but the Child Protective Agency as well. The child is saying she had to object. For God's sake, the little child, the rape victim, alleged rape victim, is saying in her statement, she is the one that had to object to the fact that Nigel Dharamlall was there while they're searching the house for her to describe where the alleged crime happened. Then she goes on to say, the first thing I noticed when I went inside the couch was the couch. The couch was brown, but like I said, and I mentioned in the last interview, it was dark. However, I don't remember the blinds were down, but inside the house itself was dark. When I went upstairs, you can literally smell fresh paint. I know they tried to eliminate whatever I could remember and probably changed it around so that it could not make sense. But when I went into the room itself, the bed was not there, the vanity was not there, and the perfumes. And there was a wardrobe that definitely was not there when I was there in the room itself. And the room itself, and the room, it felt repainted. You could smell the paint, and it was polished. In my last interview, I said the walls were painted white. And she went on to describe all the changes that happened in the house. Now, the police can easily verify that. Easily verify that. People must have painted it. People must have seen, security guards, workers, whatever it is. The police can find that out. The girl went on to say, the day when she was allegedly raped, there was an Afro-Guyanese policewoman in the guard hut. She said she was not there the day. She described everything. This report is so detailed. Everything can be verified. This is a very intelligent girl. She described everything from where she was picked up at the mall, at Movie Town, the vehicle, where they drove. She described everything, where the vehicle was parked. This complaint cannot be swept under the rug. It is too detailed, and it is easily verifiable. That's why they got Dharamlall to change up the house. Keep sharing the link, everybody. We got more juice coming. Here the other shocking thing. When I was leaving, this is the minor child, alleged rape victim. This is what she said. When I was leaving, she talked about leaving Dharamlall's house after they went for the visit. I was going into the vehicle, and one of Dharamlall's lawyers was recording me. He was using his phone. To be honest, I cannot say 100% that it was his lawyer, but I can say that it was one of his associates. I know that for a fact because they all communicated with each other. He was dressed in black and white in a suit. He seemed kind of old, but I can't recall his exact features now. But if I see him, I would be able to recognize him. He was recording me. The Guyana police force allowed one of Dharamlall's associates to record this little girl, the alleged rape victim. Let us go back to the Guyana police force statement. Let me hear what it said. At all times, the poor force acted with utmost professionalism. The Guyana police force acted with utmost professionalism after they allowed the alleged rapists to be at the place of crime, to meet and intimidate the victim, who is an underage child. Then they also allowed associates, potentially lawyers, of the alleged rapists to record the underage rape victim. If I'm not mistaken, that might be a crime. Not sure. I have my friends who are prosecutors here, I know, watching this show. They'll be able to tell me after. Keep sharing this link. get more. It gets even better. It gets even better. Now, let us go to what she said actually happened. I'm not going to go into, her description of the actual act of her being raped, but the public needs to have an understanding of what happened here. And I am not going to withhold that fact. I'm not going to. So let me go back, share my screen. All right. So now this is the 18th. This is the 18th of June. The victim states in the presence of woman police sergeant from Alberton Police Station sexual offenses unit, the probation and social service child protection officer. Of course, we redacted all of that information. She states that she's 60. She was born on this date. And she talks about how she met Dharamlall. It was the day right before Christmas Eve. I met an individual last year, September 1st, when the Minister of Amerindian Affairs was hosting the opening of the Heritage Extravaganza at the National Stadium. And we had a sashing. Then for the Amerindian Heritage Pageant. So that's where this alleged predator met this young child. She was 15. She's from Region 2. He told her, he approached her, he said, I am the member of parliament responsible for your region, and you can collect my number. She said, I honestly forgot about him until a day or two after I received a message on my Facebook page. So the predator is now stalking the child. He's on Facebook. Then he told her that he's going to help her. And that he had given $40,000 from his personal money because, of course, I was representing his region and he wanted her to win. So he contributed $40,000 to her candidacy in this pageant for Amerindian Heritage. She went on to talk. She said, she thought nothing of it. After all, she's 16. And she was glad that he was reaching out to her. And she took the opportunity to tell him about some of the challenges that they were having, her and the other contestants. She spoke about all of that. Then she said he called her and invited her to main stage. This is a big 49-year-old man calling a 15-year-old child to invite her to Mainstay, which is a resort in Essequibo Coast. She said, okay. She told him, okay. She was excited, a minister of the government. She never met anyone with that kind of authority. It's a celebrity to her. So she said, okay, she's going to come with her family. So she went with her family. She said he was nice to her family, her parents, her brothers. And then he asked her, why did she bring them? Anyway, that went by. Then she said he sponsored a toy drive for her as the, let's say, beauty queen for the Amerindian pageant. She did a toy drive. He sponsored it. He got her 500 toys. And then she was talking about how he was nice to her brothers. Grooming her. He's grooming her all this time, setting her up for the hunt. Then he asked her to send her mom at one time to get the boys. This is what she said. When we went and he saw he was really nice to her and my brothers, and my brothers were waiting outside. And he asked where they were, and we told him they were outside. And he was like, why my mom don't go and get them? So when she went to get them, he asked her, why you didn't come alone? So he used that moment to send the mother to get the other kids. Then he asked her, why you didn't come alone? I guess he probably wanted to do whatever he had to do then, but he didn't get an opportunity because she came from family. And you'll notice throughout this whole ordeal, whenever he invited her somewhere, she never went alone. Even when this alleged rape took place, she was with her brother, her little brother. So this man here, 49-year-old man, allegedly raped this child with her brother out in the sitting room or wherever, the hall or wherever, waiting while he took the sister in the bedroom, allegedly. That's what the complaint says. And she described everything. This child describes everything in detail, everything in detail. His communication with her, everything. Everything she described. I'm not going to go through everything, but I want us to get to the part where now she spoke about what happened. She said he invited her to come meet him. And she had to come to town for something, so he's like, hey, why not? So he told her to meet him at Movie Town. So she and her brother, they were at Movie Town when he came there. She described the vehicle that he drove. She said he was parked on the other end from where she was. She and her little brother, I think, is 9 years old. The brother is 9 years old. And they walked around Movie Town to the end where he was. They got into the vehicle. I think she says a Prado. And she described where they drove to get to his house. Then she described the house. And then while they were in there, he asked the brother to excuse the two of them for a little bit, and he took her inside. And that's where he allegedly raped her. And she said he told her, you know how long I wanted to F you from the time I met you. He was saying that to her, allegedly saying that to her while she was allegedly being raped. And she described in detail about how he allegedly raped her, allegedly sodomized her, allegedly forced her to do certain things. And then she said when she was complaining about pain, he told her to shut the F up. That is violence. That is violence. That's a violent rape. And there are excerpts from the report around the place where she said she bled. So for all those police officers out there who were involved in this case, and for all those members of the PPP who have children, imagine what this little child, 15 years old when he met her, allegedly 16 years old when he allegedly raped her. Violently. Violently. And when she complained, he told her to shut the F up. That's not all. Let us go back to She said, I was really, really upset, but I did not want to show anything to her brother because he was there. She wanted to show that she was there because of her little brother. She said she did not have contact with him until about 4 days later. She said she tried to call him, but he would not pick up. And then she said she reached out to some person who told her she shouldn't blame herself, she shouldn't feel upset. And they gave her some advice, gave her support, and tell her she must be courageous and tell her story. And that's when she told it. She said, after the document that was addressed to the president with her complaint was circulated, she said, I was informed that it reached the president and he shared it with the Minister of Education and shared it with Nigel also. This is the president who said in an interview with Gordon Mosley that he had not seen the complaint. And in fairness to the president, it's not clear to me here when this was shared. However, whether it's after he said it or before it was shared. However, let me hasten to say, but if it's true that this complaint was shared first with the Minister of Education, by the president, it was shared with her by the president, how can the president then say that he didn't see it? Again, I don't know. I'm asking questions. If it is true that, and I know that even if it's true, they can say it's not true, but I'm just raising these questions. The president, in an interview with Gordon Mosley, said he did not see the complaint. But this child is saying she was told. Her complaint reached the president, and he's the one that shared it with the Minister of Education. If the Minister of Education, who said that she saw the complaint, or she's aware of the complaint, she said it publicly, she said she wanted to meet with the child. If she had seen it, before it got to the president, why would the president need to share it with her in the first place? I'm just asking. I'm not too bright. I'm not too smart. I'm just asking questions. I'll come back to the president. After the president, after she says here, the president shared it with the Minister of Education and Nigel. Nigel called my parents, and my mom told me blah, 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 blah. The mom told me that he told her everything he has done for me lately, he has done from the bottom of his heart. Yeah, the alleged rape, that wasn't from the bottom of his heart, that's from the bottom of something else. But okay, so he says, I had no idea that the letter was out. So it's how they found out. So that's how they found out about the whole situation. So she did not tell her parents. Her parents found out about the situation, the alleged rape, now, after the matter got out and Dharamlall called her. That's what she's saying. She said they tried to settle the matter. Dharamlall tried to settle the matter with her parents because he gave them $10 million, which he said, or he say, that he don't know if he will ever compensate for the hurt he gave. But that's all he can do. That's what he said. I'm reading here. Most of the time, my dad and him had the transactions. It was 2 times. On Thursday the 15th, was when the letter was circulated. The same afternoon when he came down, he came to Essequibo. The same afternoon, I'm reading because I want to leave out some details, to reach us. And he wanted to reach us at State House. He was communicating with my dad, not me. And he asked my dad to reach him at State House. But my dad told him he wanted to have an adult to adult conversation. And he did not want to do it at State House. And they should go down to Lake Canopy. That's part of Region 2. She said when they went there, they didn't have much people there. There was a shop there with a few guys. My dad, so those people must have seen them. My dad told me about the money. And he said they're trying to handle it. They talk about, not being able to afford a lawyer to go through all of this. So basically to protect the family, that's when they took, from all the complications, they took the $1.5 million was collected on the 16th. Sorry. And $5 million was collected on the 16th. Yes, so they did it on 2 days. She said she had exams and they were supposed to meet. I know this, after my exam was finished, we went and he collected us, I guess Dharamlall, and took us to the police station. My dad told me what had happened. And not to worry about the Facebook thing and so on. We have to make a statement to the police. When we went to give the statement, the commander was there. This is now Shivnaran. Back to Mr. Shivnaran. Superintendent Shivnaran. Commander was there. I don't know the name of the commander. And he took the statement from me and he asked me to sign it. The statement that I signed was referring to a post by opposition member of Parliament Ganesh, my Paul. However, that post did not say my name, nor did it refer to anybody specific. However, the comment section, they were referring to him, but not to me. But I made a statement saying that it does not refer to me. The post tagged a whole lot of PPC MPs and why they were covering up the story involving the MP and a child. She said she just wanted to say that whatever was in that post did not relate to her. I'm a high school, focus on my future. Sorry, I'm in high school, focus on my future. I remember she's saying what the statement said. Then she said Dharamlall asked her to make a statement on Facebook denying the allegation. Or wanted her mother to make the statement. She said instead she did it. He asked her to do it, coerced her to do it. She said my mom did not want to do it, so I ended up doing it. And I sent him a screenshot of the post that I made. And I made the post, and he was on the call telling me what to do. He tampering with the witness. He's coercing the witness to lie. This man is still in contact with the witness even though the complaint is out. The post was posted on the 16th of June. The post said it was brought to the attention of my family that untruthful, basically, what was circulating was disrespectful and hurtful. And if anybody continued to do it, they'll take legal action, blah, 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 blah. Nigel did not tell me his age. He was 49 years old. Somebody, she mentioned it, told her he was 49. And she describes him. One other thing. I mean, there's, like I said, I don't want to cause any, I don't want to put out any information, all of the information rather, so I'm selecting what I want to put out. But there's one last thing. Bear with me. One last thing. I want to share with you for a wrap up with an analysis. Oh, that's not it. That's not the one I want to share. We'll get to it. All right, I think this is it. So she said, Friday, June 6th was when I had a brave conversation with Nigel Dharamlall, although I did see him on Thursday the 15th. I did not really speak with him on Thursday. All I did was show up and he apologized. He apologized. He told me he was profoundly sorry for everything. And if I can find it in my heart to believe him, and I just looked at my parents and I was like, that's it. And then I went back, but he knew I was not pleased with him. And he knew that I wasn't actually willing to compromise. So he constantly kept in contact with my dad, to ensure that they're actually going to calm me down from not going forward with anything. I communicated with Nigel Dharamlall on Friday through my dad's phone. So when I spoke with him on Friday, he was like, I'm really happy that you finally decided to talk to me. And I told him that I had actually agreed, because when I listened to this man spoke, I literally felt sorry for him. That is what changed my whole mentality, because of how he spoke. I felt sorry for him. Nigel Dharamlall said the most that can happen is that he can lose his job, but at least he will not go to jail, because I decided to give a statement to the police saying that everything that is being said was not true. So he had it in him that I will not take him to court. But since I did know, I see it is something different. My mother was there when I was communicating with Nigel Dharamlall on the phone, and she heard what I was telling him. Also, she did hear when he gave me President Irfan Ali's number to WhatsApp him and message him and tell him that everything is still resolved. The message is still in my phone, which is still in the police custody. Nigel Dharamlall told me that this is the president's number, and he told me to send him the message. I sent the message to the president. Well, she speculated here that it was read, and she described part of the president's telephone number. So you go. Dharamlall asked her to message the president. So you go. What can I say? What can I say? This is shocking. This is shocking. Is this the reason why they don't want this woman to go, this young girl to go forward with the complaint? A lot of people in the PPP knew. Now, like I said, she may have messaged the president, whomever she messaged. There's no proof that the president saw what she said, if indeed she did message the president. That could be easily verified. Easily verified. And she said it, like, the message is in my phone. Here it is. Why is the police Why is the police holding on to this girl's phone? She's not the she's not the perpetrator. She is not the perpetrator. Why is the police holding on to her phone? Oh, another thing she said. Dharamlall asked her to destroy her phone. Dharamlall also asked her parents to take the phone and destroy it. That is attempting to pervert the course of justice. The father said, she said the father told him, I don't want to destroy the phone. He then gave them a phone and told them destroy the one that she had before. All of this, all of these acts are additional crimes. That's why I have this show tonight. So even if this young girl doesn't want to go forward, whatever that means, with criminal charges, the police doesn't need her to charge Dharamlall with obstruction of justice, perverting the course of the witness tampering. These are independent acts of criminality, which should be prosecuted. The guy in the police force said, at all times they acted with utmost professionalism. And the man obstructing the case in front of them, possibly with their complicity. Evidently with their complicity. Because they were there. They took the victim there to his home, and he was sitting there. When ordinarily, based on standard operating procedure, he should not be there. He should still be held in jail. Sorry, held by the police. Everybody knows the guy in the police force, once you black, especially if you have some prominence, you get hold for at least 72 hours. Mingo, Lowenfield, every black person for which they have been politically motivated, trumped up charges were held for 72 hours. Even Roxanne Myers, the former deputy chief elections officer, held on trump-up charges in a nasty, dirty jail cell at BV for 72 hours. Professional, well-qualified woman, because she's black. Another member of GCOM, Miss Miller. Miss Miller was held for 72 hours, even though she told them that she was on a menstrual cycle, her lawyer said. And she told them her blood pressure was up. She could feel it. They denied her access to medical attention. They denied her access to use hygienic facilities. And they left her in a nasty cell. These members of the Guyana Police Force must be held accountable as well. We are going to petition the United States government heavily for their visas to be revoked. From police officer to members of the government. Could you believe what happened to this child? And if you were to hear the details of how he sodomized her and raped her and then told her to shut the F up, it would make you puke. It would make you feel like castrating him. And our society in Guyana is silent. Women in the PP government are silent. Even men in the PP government are silent. Men with children and daughters are silent. We have to act. We cannot allow this child, and I'm fearful for her safety. She's bold, she's courageous, she's intelligent. She's acting with more dignity and self-respect than some of the ministers of government. Cowards, quiet. Even when Nigel Dharamlall went into parliament and told a female parliamentarian she needs a dildo, members of the PP failed to speak out. They condoned this man. From the president right up, condoned this man. As a matter of fact, Prem Manichan said he's entitled to free speech. This man who desecrated the sanctity of the parliament, and while on the floor speaking, a member of parliament from the opposition heckled him, which is what they do in parliament all the time. And he responded, "You want dildo, this way you want a dildo." He should have been expelled from parliament. He was not even rebuked, reprimanded by the speaker. The members of the PPP defended him. Not even reprimanded. That is how nasty and dirty that party is. They're a party of rapists and pedophiles. We received complaints at CGID, 28 complaints of Amerindian children being raped by members of the PPP. From the mayor, allegations against the mayor of Letem, member of parliament for Region 9, 2 ministers of the government, including Nigel Dharamlall, regional executive officer, community development officer. One complaint said a community development officer procured 2 14-year-old Amerindian girls from Region 9 and brought them to Letem for 2 PPP ministers, 2 people who are now PPP ministers, to spend the night with them. Allegedly 14 years old girls went back home the next day, one allegedly bleeding. That's what the complaint says. And the community development officer who took them could not face the parents, so he dropped them off a little way from their home for them to walk. 14-year-old girls walk home the next day after they lured them from their home under the pretext of coming to a junior PPP PYO rally. They said complaints were made to the police, statements were taken and sent to Georgetown to the ministry. Nothing happened. Men in the PPP have ravaged the little girls in Amerindian communities, allegedly throughout Guyana. Nothing has happened. And the Guyana Police Force leaders want to issue a statement lecturing to us, the citizens of the country, about professionalism and releasing information. It is repugnant. It is repugnant that Amerindian communities can grow their girls in peace without them being raped, allegedly raped, molested, assaulted, sexually abused, trafficked by men in the PPP. And if Amerindian communities continue to vote for the PPP, only heaven can help Guyana. Only heaven can help Guyana. Amerindian communities run for the mountains when you see the PPP coming. Organize and vote all of them out. Vote against them. It is in the interest of your children and the maintenance of decency and dignity and the preservation of your community and your children that you vote against the PPP. They caused the murder of 20 of your children. And then they got the person allegedly responsible for killing those kids to become a counselor for their party in Region 9. I don't know if that's true. That's what I read. The PPP wants to strip Amerindians of their decency, of their way of life, of their culture. And when I was in Guyana, I was told that PPP members would go into Amerindian villages making derogatory remarks about black people from the opposition. They're going to come and rape you and they take away this and take away. That's what they preach while they're doing the same damn thing. They're a party of alleged rapists and pedophiles. I'm not saying that that's the only group in society that does things like that. But there's a pattern of conduct. Pattern from the MP in Region 9 to the alleged mayor, sorry, to the mayor, allegations against the mayor up there in one of the towns in Region 9, allegations against regional chairman, allegations against, as I said, the regional executive officer. For God's sake, the regional executive officer allegedly approached a woman, and because he was rejected, he shot her. Nothing happened. He shoot the woman. God forbid that's my sister, my family. You're moving back from where there? Wait, let me stop. These people are so powerful. A woman and him have a conflict over him allegedly making a pass at her, and he shoots her. The regional executive officer. What we would call that here in the States, in a state. It's equivalent to probably a secretary of state or an executive director for a county legislative body. Let's call it the executive. He's like the executive director of a county legislature. County executive. That's what it's equivalent to. Shot the girl. Nothing happened. One of them allegedly raped a little boy. Nothing happened. All these matters are reported to the police. But no, the police, the Guyana PPP police force, is only there under the PPP whenever they're in government to protect the PPP and frame their opponents. That's it. Why? Because they put people in place. You have a man in the Guyana police force at the top who shot, who caused or instructed police officers allegedly to shoot and kill protesters in Linden. And he has been rewarded by being promoted in the Guyana police force. Nothing happened. That's the society Guyanese want under the PPP. Nobody in Guyana wants to talk about this issue that I'm talking about today. I'm talking about it because I'm not scared of the PPP. If they come after me, I come after them. They declare war on me and I be warring. Because people are scared of being killed, because that's the history of the PPP. They murder people, they kill people when they come up against them. Barjagde government allegedly killed over 1,400 young black men with impunity. Nothing has happened. All of those young black men are in the grave today, and their family are grieving, and he's walking around puffing up his chest. We want him to be investigated by the International Criminal Court and extradited and prosecuted. And we want all Guyanese, as I wrap up, all Guyanese, female organizations in Guyana and the diaspora, to start writing international communities, international organizations, write to UNESCO, write to the Human Rights Division of the United Nations, Human Rights Commission, and Rights of the Child advocacy organizations international, and bring this matter to their attention. And I'm aware that next week, the leader of the Democratic Party in Congress, Congressman Hakeem Jeffries, will travel to Trinidad, along with the Secretary of State, to participate in the CARICOM 50th anniversary celebration. And they will have sessions with the CARICOM heads of government. We have briefed them on these and other matters regarding racism in Guyana, undemocratic practices, and that the country is an autocracy, an ethnocracy, a dictatorship, and that the PPP government is trying to establish a one-party state in Guyana, which must never happen. And we want organizations in the diaspora to join us. We want to see women, prominent women, Guyanese women in the diaspora. Guyanese Girls Rock, we want to call on you to make representations, advocate for this young girl's behalf. When the young girl in Afghanistan was terrorized for going to school, the world came together and backed her. That's what we want to see. Let us mobilize the world to back this young child in Guyana. Have a good night.